morning. Thanks for coming in today. Good morning. Ibanez, thank you for the follow, buddy. Good morning. Hello. Why did your follow thing not play? What the heck? I swear to God, stream labels. I'm gonna punch you in the face. Streamlabs. Is it because I haven't logged in a while? Oh boy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello everybody. Let's see, is my fucking bot working? It is. Okay. Why then did it not play your sound? Maybe because I was still on my intro screen? It's a possibility. Could very well be because I was still in the intro screen. Sarah is at work. Sarah is back to work on a regular basis. She works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at a school. She's on teacher hours. I'm home alone with Clove, who's sleeping on the chair back in the background. You can't see her because she's sleeping on the little chair. Anyways, thanks for coming in today. Hold on, I want to give Ibanez his sound for following. Bum ba dum bum ba dum dum. Nothing to be ashamed of, Ibanez player. Alright, good morning. Thanks for coming in today. We're going to fly this little airplane out of Bayport. And conveniently, because we landed, remember, we landed 1-8 at Bayport for the Flying Club anniversary event. Conveniently, it's runway 36 for departure, which means we get to do the fun departure out of Bayport this morning with the big old cranking left turn to get out to the South Shore before we then make our... I wish it would let me put 124 Mike Charlie on that, but that's a whole other problem. Before we do the flight that I have planned for us this morning is right here. We're going to take off out of Bayport, head up the South Shoreline. We're going to try and get a Bravo clearance, go South Shoreline Kennedy, join up on the Jersey Shore here. We're pretty much just going to follow the Jersey Shore all the way down, just a little bit past Atlantic City to Ocean City, 2-6 November. So we're only going up by 3 here, from 2-3 to 2-6 November. And I'm doing that in the Sierra this morning. It's a beautiful morning, all VFR, sky clear. So why not? Why not? My tech view, thanks for coming in today. Good morning. So that's kind of the plan that I have put forth. Why is that so zoomed out? Okay, anyways, and that's what we're going to do. We got a little bit of ATC online right now. New York approach. The islip sector is online in New York Center, so we can get a little bit of flight following as well to treat ourselves on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Yeah, I got nothing better to do. I was awake at 5:30 this morning because the cat woke me up to feed her, and I just couldn't get back to sleep. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I need to be on the early clock anyway, because when I go back to work on Friday, I have to be awake at 2 a.m. on Friday to go back to work. A 5 a.m. report. Not looking forward to that. But, gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead, and we've got the G3X version of the Sierra that we're going to be running with this morning. I'm going to go ahead and get the battery on, the avionics on, the fuel pumps turned on. Well, I guess the fuel switch selected on. Let's see, what else do I need to do with this thing? This thing's pretty straightforward to get going here. We got a little key. Let's see, we're gonna do beacon on. Okay. Oh, I need to disconnect that thing. Doo-doo-doo. Alright. Oh, why is my G3 not working right? There we go. I was about to say. It's going to come around eventually. Let's do this. Let's do... Alright, so we'll go mixture prop full. Fuel boost pump will turn on. I think we're clear here. Clear left. Clear right. Clear prop. Starts up like a champ. Yeah, my next trip is going to be, well, 2 JFK overnights and then another Santiago DR overnight, yes. But thankfully, my summer of Santiago is almost over. This is the last trip that I have that's going to be in the DR, and then next month I have Aruba, San Juan, and Ponce overnights that I'm very much looking forward to. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel finally. I'm very happy about that. Let's turn the instrument light on. I can barely see this damn thing. Go as bright as we can here. Yeah. Oh, look how bright that is. Hell yeah. That's more better. Alright. Let's go ahead and close that. We got it started up here. I forgot, you know, I should probably put fuel in the airplane. We're going to pretend that we did this already and not like right this second because I'm a little retarded. Alright, and that's good. We can go ahead and put the headphone on. Now it's a little quiet. Nice and quiet in here. We're going to climb up to 1,500 feet eventually, but we're not going to be worried about that until after we cleared the little cutout for Bayport. Now, for those of you that don't know about the Bayport Aerodrome, first of all, where have you been all your life, especially in this stream? Second, the special departure that we're going to do out of here, and let me pull up my little VFR map to show you. That's not the VFR map. I'm retarded. This is the VFR map. Let me pull up the VFR map to show you. So we're going to take off of runway 36 here. We're going to not cross Sunrise Highway. We're going to make a continuous left turn after we take off to join up on the Sans Souci Lakes. Take that out to the river here. That's going to dump us out into, and you can see the little cutout here. We have to stay below 700 feet. This will dump us out into the Great South Bay. After that point, we got to stay below 1,500 to stay below the outer shelf of the Class Charlie. However, I do plan on picking up flight following. We'll get a Charlie clearance so we can go up to that 1,500 feet and then continue on eastbound. So that's just your little bit of knowledge for how we're going to do this departure out of Bayport if you've never seen it or done it before. I like how this actually tells you what the rotate speed is. It gives you VX, VY. Look at that. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Nothing crazy. Beautiful morning for flying. Nice and cool. It's actually kind of chilly this morning when I went to go and get a bagel. It's like only 59 degrees. So yeah, it's a pretty nice day for flying in the real world here out on this Wednesday morning. And unfortunately, since I don't have the ability to go rent an airplane right this moment, we're going to suffice with the sim. And like, see, look at that, a little aircraft on VATSIM at cruise right up above us. Look at that. Little contrails for the aircraft that's flying above us, which I just looked on VATSIM, and it's funny because I actually know who that person is that's flying above us at 32,000 feet. I'm not going to say his name out loud, but that's funny. Anyways, alright, let me get back on my train of thought here. Mrs. Boozy Sheep, no way! You finally got a Twitch account with a proper name. Hi, Rebecca. Good morning. Excellent. This is excellent. Alright, this makes me happy now. We got to make sure that I am tuned on 122.7, which is the Bayport CTAF frequency, and I am. We're going to remove the parking brake. Actually, before we remove the parking brake, we should probably do a quick run-up. It is hump day. Mike. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and lean the mixture out just a little bit here. Don't need too much because we're at sea level. We'll go ahead and check the mags. Left mag is good. You know, it's kind of quiet with the headset on. We're gonna let the noises be loud today. Check the other mag. Slight drop. Mags are fine. Cycle the prop. Prop's good. Throttle idle. Good fix-ins. Thanks for coming in today. Alright, yeah, I think we're good. We'll call that our run-up. Now we can taxi out over here to runway 36 at Bayport. We are going from Bayport to 26 November, which is Ocean City, which is just right near Atlantic City. I'll pull up the sky vector routing again once we get up in the air. But first we're going to deal with the nice glorious 3-6 departure out of Bayport. And we will not cross Sunrise Highway. Bayport traffic, Sierra 124 Mike Charlie to be departing runway 36 out to the Great South Bay. Bayport traffic. Go ahead and use all the runway that I have available to me. I'm going to come all the way out here. Use every little bit of this runway out here. Do 1 notch of flaps. It's going to be a soft field takeoff. Alright. We're lined up. We're ready to go. It's time. Get the yoke full back. Keep the pressure off the nose. She's going to want to wheelie a little bit, but that's fine. Wait until we get a little bit of air under us. We'll get her in the air, and then we'll stay in ground effect. Pick up that airspeed, and away we go. And my sim is lagging. Wonderful. Get the gear up, flaps up. Do not cross Sunrise Highway. So we'll go ahead and start our turn here. The full left turn to get over the lakes. We do not want to go above 700 feet, so we're going to keep an eye on our altitude here. There's the lakes. Stay over the lakes now until it is time to join up on the river, and then we'll go out to the bay. And again, we can climb a little bit more than what we've done. We just need to be below 700. So let's go ahead and get ourselves to at least 500 feet here. That's definitely one of the better 3-6 departures that I've done in the sim, I would say. Definitely made up for the terrible landing I did on runway 18 during the anniversary event. So we'll get out here into the bay, and then I'm going to go ahead and tune up New York approach on 134.55. And we'll pick up some flight following. Bayport traffic, Sierra 124 Mike Charlie is over the Great South Bay. Last call, Bayport. Switch the frequency. I did it the cheatsy doodle way over here on VPilot, so you can see I'm on 3455. New York approach, good morning. Beechcraft, Sierra 124 Mike Charlie. Go all the way out to the south shoreline here.
And aircraft calling the call sign and location.
Yeah, New York approach, good morning. This is Beechcraft, November 124 Mike Charlie. About, we'll call it 8 miles south of the Long Island MacArthur Airport, 1,000 feet. We'd like to pick up VFR flight following to 26 November.
And 2 Mike Charlie, squawk 0122.
Get the autopilot going here. 0122 squawk for 124 Mike Charlie. Why is it not letting me hold the heading bug?
And for Mike Shirley, that's my mistake. Run call sign on my end. Make it 0311.
Zero 0311 squawk for November 124 Mike Charlie.
For Mike Shirley, radar contact 9 miles south of Long Island. The Long Island altimeter 3003. Maintain VFR.
Maintain VFR for Mike Charlie. Okay, chat, we have a problem here. We can't get the old heading to lock in here. I can't get this thing to track a heading. What is going on here?
Mike Shirley, you said you were going to 16 November, correct?
Negative. It's 26 November. 26 November, and we would also like to transition the New York class Bravo airspace along the South Shoreline. I have no idea why it's not working. Why is you not working? Heading bug. The altitude worked fine. I mean, I can't get anything to work on the lateral.
Had a request with New York 12532.
12532 for 4 Mike Charlie. Gonna see you. Guess we're gonna have to hand fly it the whole way, huh? That appears to be the case here, chat. Appears we're hand flying it the whole way. Alrighty. So it is. New York Center, good morning. November 124 Mike Charlie, VFR request.
November 4 Mike Charlie, New York Center, say location.
November 124 Mike Charlie, we're about, we'll call it 10-15 miles to the south and slightly west of Islip at 1,500. I'd like to get a Bravo clearance, transition South Shoreline as we make our way down to 26 November.
November 4 Mike Charlie, you're clear to the New York class Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR 1,500. The Kennedy altimeter 3006. Proceed as requested.
As requested, cleared into the Bravo VFR 1,500 for CR 124 Mike Charlie.
Finnair 16, you're leaving my airspace. Boston Center is closed. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Frequency changed approved. Thank you. Have a nice day. Finnair 16.
Saudia 37, descend and maintain. Flight level 220.
Alright, we'll have to hand fly it then. That's just the way it
Saudia
is.
37, New York Center.
The autopilot don't want to work, then that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Descend and maintain. Flight level 220.
Descend maintain. Flight level 220. New York Center, good morning. JetBlue 939, information kilo. Taxi, Foxtrot, short Alpha.
See, am I able to get it to work this way? No, I can't even get it to work this way.
939, runway 31 left. Taxi via Foxtrot Zulu, cross runway 4 left.
The heading is just straight up
Foxtrot, Zulu, cross 4 left.
not doing it. Alright. That's got to be a glitch with the G3X or whatever. No big deal. We'll hand fly. Could always just get it to, you know, turn the autopilot off and then get it into roll the way I want it. And then turn the autopilot back on, but... Oh, wrong button. It's not that serious. We can hand fly.
United 721, I already gave you taxi instructions. Runway 22 right of whiskey, taxi via Romeo Kilo, uniform whiskey.
Alright, 22 right of whiskey via Romeo Kilo, uniform whiskey, United 721.
See, like, I could just
89, runway 22 right of whiskey,
keep it like this. And then I could always just quickly turn the autopilot off, get it into the roll position that I want it, and then turn it back on and do it that way. So we'll play around with it. So watch, I can quickly turn this off.
119.87.
119.87, JetBlue 1 Charlie X-ray.
Central aircraft, New York Center has to close at this time. All aircraft remaining this frequency, switch intercom. Enjoy the rest of your flights. Good day.
Good morning, buddy.
Over to Unicon, thanks, United 721.
Yeah, heading is just not gonna work. Straight up. Alright, not a big deal. So again, I kind of just get this turned the way I want. And then when I get to a point where I don't feel like I need to turn anymore, I'll just have it stay in the roll mode and keep us level. Strange. Again, that's got to be like, because I haven't had those issues when I would do the G5 setup of this airplane, so that's got to be the G3, something going on with that. Good news is that this thing is quite stable, so it's not that hard to hand fly. It's quite easy, actually, to hand fly this thing. And since center went offline, we can go ahead and switch to Unicom 122.8. And we're on our own. Yeah, see, now I can turn the autopilot on, and it's just going to hold this roll, so I'm going to keep going straight like I want right here, and then I can kind of just adjust as necessary. But yeah, nav doesn't work, heading doesn't work, so any of the lateral modes except for roll are not working, and it makes me wonder if I'm maybe missing something. Maybe there's a breaker that's out? Is there a circuit breaker popped? I don't see any circuit breakers popped. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything popped. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know. Strange. But again, we can just kind of, you see how I just kind of steered it a little bit like that? I can just kind of steer it like that, and then it'll just kind of roll the wings level once I'm all done here. Almost kind of cheating in a way. Let me pull the autopilot circuit breaker real quick, see if it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did not work. Okay, it was worth a shot. Was worth a shot. There's gotta be just some glitch, I guess. Anyways, we should probably switch the fuel tanks. So we'll go fuel boost pump on. Switch tank. That's the wrong way. Jesus. Switch the fuel tanks. We're good. Airplane's still flying. We're having a real fun time this morning. Trying to enjoy this beautiful weather and scenery, but all we've got is problems. Now, though, we can enjoy some of the scenery. Listen to that baby purr. Oh, it'll be interesting to see what my frame rates are going to be as we get closer to the city here. Good morning, Apocalypse, please. Thanks for stopping by. We're flying to 2-6 November, even though the airplane doesn't seem to want to work in any of the autopilot lateral moves. So we're kind of just cheats-a-doodling the roll mode at the moment. Put 2-6 November into the GPS actually now here. We'll use this for reference. That's where we're going. Ocean City Municipal. 91 miles if we were to go straight line, but we're not going a straight line. We are currently flying along the south shoreline here of JFK, right around this area. And we're going to stay at 1,500 feet, which was our Bravo clearance before center went offline. Join up around Sandy Hook, and then follow the Jersey Shore south pretty much all the way past Atlantic City into Ocean City. That's the plan. That's what we're doing. And I can't get the airplane to work properly. While we're stable, though, I can kind of see if I can, maybe something. See if I can get something to work here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Traffic, you got a little map there, that's cool. You got little insets, I like that. But we can't get the heading to work. No matter what we do, we cannot get the heading to work. None of the lateral mouse. Can't get nav to work, can't get heading to work. Yeah, so look, the heading thing will move, but I can't get it to activate into heading mode on the thing here. It's got to be some glitch. I can't think of anything else, and I don't want to just start going and pulling circuit breakers, to be honest, but I could not tell you why that isn't working. See if there's something on the iPad maybe that can help us here. Doesn't look like it. Hardware switch binding. I couldn't tell you. Let's be honest, it's not that serious, because watch, I can just turn the autopilot off, roll to where I need it to be rolled as the sim lags out. There we go. And then I can just re-engage the autopilot. Like so. Easy. Doing about 11.3 gallons per hour, 24 squared. You got a ground speed of 126. I need you to do this for my own peace of mind. Press the heading button, then turn. Yes, okay, so heading bug, turning the knob, all that works. You can see that it's moving, and then it'll center when I press it. And then when I try to go and turn, it just straight up, it's stuck in roll mode. It won't go on my scoreboard here into heading mode. Turn heading on. What does that even mean? It won't act. Listen, I can't do anything because the scoreboard tells me that it's stuck in roll mode. So I have fanoodled it as much as possible, and there's no more fanoodling that I can do. I could try, and this is where things might get interesting here, but I could try and reset it. So we're gonna pull this. Let's see if a little reset maybe of the breaker will help us out here. Alright. Nope, didn't do a damn thing. Yep, even resetting the breaker. So it's got to be something wrong with the G3. Because I have now reset the thing and it didn't do anything. Yeah, it's like every 5 things on the speed tape. So lesson learned here is don't use the G3 version, stick with the G5 version. That's what I get for trying to change things up. It is what it is. So sometimes we try and sometimes it doesn't work out, Chad. That is what it is, man. Alright, so we're South Shore. We just passed JFK and all those poor souls that are stuck flying the jetliners out of Kennedy this morning and missing out on all the fun of flying GA. We're going to take our booties over to Sandy Hook, which is right over here. So I need to turn the autopilot off and start a left turn here. Because we want to join up here. This is Sandy Hook, and then from there we're going to follow the Jersey Shore south all the way, the rest of the way to 26 of November. Will I be flying for the GA Appreciation Day event? Unfortunately, I will not, because I am going to be working in real life. I start a 4-day trip on Friday, so I'll be working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I will not be home for the GA Appreciation Day event this year. But that's okay, because I've got a few other of my VirtueSA Flying Club admin that are going to be there in my place. And between the VirtueSA Flying Club, the Pilot Club, and of course all of VATUSA being invited as well, I think it's going to be a great evening of general aviation on the VATSIM network on Sunday. I will talk more about the event here in just a second. But yeah, unfortunately, I am working. I was not able to get off, so I'll be working on Sunday. Actually, I'll probably already be in bed by the time it hits 4 o'clock on Sunday, because I have to wake up on Monday at 1 a.m. to fly back to Newark from Santiago at 3 a.m. So I will be tucked into bed and sleeping during the entire event on Sunday. That's just how it is. My work schedule will be like that sometimes. So, yeah. But it's a great event. I think whether you're a VirtueSA Flying Club member or the Pilot Club, if you're a member of them, or if you're just a VATSIM member, it's definitely an event that you want to participate in, because it's going to be, it's general aviation is definitely something that needs to be more appreciated on the network. And this is what we're talking about. It is on Sunday from 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that's 2000 Zulu to about, they say 2359 because they just didn't want to put it to 0000. These are the airports that are going to be featured: Manassas, Charlottesville, Lewisburg, Myrtle, Savannah, Charleston, Bradley, Providence, and Portsmouth. And Wilmington, Philly Northeast, and Trenton are going to be the featured airports. So fly some GA on Sunday evening on the VATSIM network. I'm sorry, Portland. Yes, Portland, Maine, not Portsmouth. I apologize. Wave hello to all the beachgoers on the Jersey Shore, because I bet you there's actually quite a few of them on this beautiful Wednesday morning. So it's a real nice day in the area. That's why I'm getting my VATSIM stuff done early this morning. I'm going to be sitting outside most of the day, touching grass, chat. I'm going to be touching grass most of the day. It's so nice out. No way you just said ew to that. That sounds like a you problem, Boozy Sheep. It's beautiful. Like, there's not a cloud in the sky up here, and it's like only 65 degrees right now. And it's getting only up to 75 degrees today. It's going to be about as good a day as you could possibly have. where I live today. So I'm gonna be sitting, putting my ass in a chair outside in the grass, smoking a cigar at some point later this morning. I might even take a little nappy nap outside because I am kind of tired. Said I went to bed probably right around midnight last night, and then the cat woke me up at 5 a.m. to feed her. It's probably for the best. I've been stuck on this early clock, so I had a 4-day trip last week that was like, it's the same trip I got coming up, all early mornings. I was awake at like 3 a.m. and then I was awake at like 5 a.m. and then I was awake at like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. and then I was awake at 1 a.m. It's going to be the exact same thing on this upcoming trip. And then I was supposed to do a red-eye turn right after that, Sunday night into Monday, but I had to call out of that fatigued because I was just so absolutely exhausted, stuck on the early morning clock, and I wasn't able to flip my circadian rhythm. And so that's just kind of what it is. But now I need to kind of stay on this early clock since they've got another 4-day trip, like I said, the exact same trip coming up. So it make no sense now to be staying up late to wake up late. So I'm going to be in bed probably tonight around like 7, 8 o'clock. Wake up tomorrow morning about 5 a.m. And then tomorrow night be in bed probably at like 4 p.m., 4 or 5 p.m. to wake up at 2 in the morning for that early report on Friday. And then it's just all early mornings that whole trip. So that's just the way, it's just the life of being a pilot sometimes, Chad. I mean, it's definitely, it can be difficult sometimes getting the sleep right. And it's, you know, I would say, and I tell this to Sarah, I think sometimes getting the sleep right can be the hardest part of the job when it comes to being a pilot, or an airline pilot. 'Cause everything else about it is pretty awesome, not gonna lie. You know, and I very much enjoy flying with the company that I work for. You know, they've done nothing but treat me right, but sometimes it's tough to get the sleep right when you have, you know, all different, you know, you're flying during all different times of day. You're flying sometimes early in the morning, sometimes late at night, sometimes all through the night. It can be a little tricky. But again, with all that said, I very much love my job. And we'll leave it at that. See how much further we've got to go here to get to Ocean City. Yeah, about 20, about a little less than half an hour. Boozy Sheep says he hates his job. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I could love my job, but they hate me, so I hate them. Yeah, it does. That's why you do need having a good company. It definitely helps. There's no doubt about that. And by the way, I'm going to squawk VFR now since I'm no longer getting flight following. Like I said, for the difficulties sometimes that my job presents me, I do very much love the company that I work for. I'm not going to say out loud on stream which company that is, but, you know, I do like the company that I work for. No doubt about it. And that definitely helps, you know, put up with some of the stuff like the tough sleep schedule and other things like that. I hear you. I know when you made the switch you thought it was going to be a good change, but yeah, and that's just the way, sometimes that's just the way it goes, man. All about the money. Yeah, that's disappointing. Disappointing, but unfortunately in this country that's not very surprising either. Let's be honest. Yeah, definitely it's tough to do that, Boozy, and I'm sorry that it is that way with your job. But the upside is that you get to hang out with us on Twitch all the time like you do. You're a very good entertainer. I know you can't make a career out of that necessarily, but you're able to balance out your life with that good when the work maybe isn't as fun. So at least, you know, you're not in full-on misery. You've got, you know, you've got the ability to have the good stuff that, you know, it's to work towards, and that's always good. I'm lucky on both ends. I have a job that I like, that makes me happy, and I'm able to come and do all this flight sim stuff with you guys, which I have fun doing. It makes me happy. So yeah, I try not to take it for granted because I am well aware that, you know, as I said, I'm doing it right on both ends. So I try not to take it for granted. The only problem that I have in life is that my body does not seem to want to stay healthy between the surgeries that I've had and getting sick all the time, and that's a whole other thing. But, you know, I'm doing a lot of things right, so like I said, I try not to take it for granted. Deep thoughts with Boozy Sheep this morning, chat. So what this has kind of turned into. As we continue to go along the Jersey Shore, south to Ocean City, which I did, by the way. There is a scenery for 26 November that I downloaded and installed. It looked pretty nice on the flightsim.to. So we'll be able to check that out when we get down there. Boozy says, I will be happy to know that he buttered a landing in Rome in the A350. Hell yeah. I don't have the rating butter stickers like you do in your stream, but congratulations. I bet you that made you... Definitely probably made you very, very satisfied. I was going to say something else, but then I remembered I'm in my own stream and not yours, and I want to try and my best to keep things PG in here. Doesn't always work out. Every now and then I drop the F-bomb, but I was going to say something very inappropriate that I'm going to save for your channel and not mine. Something to that end, Boozy Sheep. Something to that end. That's not exactly what I was going to say, but I was going to say something to that effect. Ha, it's funny because I'm looking at my Volanta track, and you can see coming out of Bayport the whole time after I got to the South Shore, which I was just going to follow the South Shore, but this is where I was like, why is my heading bug not working? Why can't I get my airplane to turn that I want on it? And so that's why there's this little thing. But eventually I just figured it out and was able to get back to following the shoreline like I wanted to. It's pretty funny. Yeah, still haven't been able to figure out. I'm actually Googling right now to see if there's anything I can do to try and fix this heading issue. And I'm not seeing anything that makes sense. Could just be a glitch, man. I don't know. Am I gonna do any JFK today? Probably not. Boozy. I'm probably not gonna do any JFK controlling today. Like I said, it's such a beautiful day outside. I think I'm gonna be spending most of the day outdoors. And even later this evening, if I get back on the computer, it might only be to play Call of Duty with the guys in the NYA or TCC TeamSpeak for a little bit. But then I'm also gonna be spending time with Sarah after she gets home from work this evening. Watching the Mets game. So yeah, I would say probably not gonna be controlling JFK at all today. But if I change my mind, I'll let you know. It is really a beautiful morning in the Northeast. There has not been a cloud in the sky. I'm using real weather and everything, and it's showing true. Everything is not a cloud in the sky on any of the reporting facilities here on SkyVector. It's about as nice of a day that you could ask for. Not too hot, little breeze, clear skies. It's gonna be glorious, and for late August, this is phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. So in their Discord, they say some shit about it. Can you use the EFB to change from GNS 355 to the GNM back?
Iowa Scotsman just resubbed.
Iowa Scotsman, thank you.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for coming in today, sir. I don't see anywhere in the tablet that I can switch that, Boozy. Thank you for 19 months, Iowa Scotsman. I appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't know. But this is, I'm obviously in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Since I don't have 24. Yeah, couldn't tell you. Alright, we're getting a little bit closer now to the Atlantic City airspace as it starts to curve down a little bit to the right here. Atlantic City, the outer ring of the Class Charlie there is at 1,300 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to descend and we're going to go down to 1,000 feet. And we'll stay at 1,000 feet the rest of the way to 26 November. This way we'll be clear of the Class Charlie airspace. And Ocean City Municipal, 26 November. The CTAF frequency is same as Bayport, 122.7. So I'm going to quickly tune 122.7 in my cheatsy doodle way over here. The elevation of the airport is 5 feet. So traffic pattern altitude is 1,000. It's got a runway 6 and 24. If we have to use 24, it's right traffic, and runway 6 is left traffic. That's about all we need to know about that airport. Looking at the weather at Atlantic City with the wind being 310, it's probably going to be runway 24, so we're going to want to enter a right downwind for runway 24. Now, since we're kind of going straight at runway 24, what we're going to have to do is pretty much overfly the field and then join the right downwind for runway 26. Or what I could also do is I could, when we get a little bit closer, maneuver a little bit to the west and then kind of loop my way back around into a right downwind for runway 24, which is probably more likely what I'm going to do, actually. While, of course, still remaining clear of the Atlantic City Class Charlie. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to... Actually, no, we're still pretty decent ways out, so we'll wait. When we get a little bit closer, like I said, I'll do that little bit of an inland turn so that we can kind of set ourselves up for a more appropriate right downwind into runway 24 there. Yes, this is going to be the plan. I'm going to leave you guys real quick with the sweet, sweet sound of airplane while I go take a leak. I'll be right back. We are back. Hope you guys enjoyed your airplane ASMR. I kind of like this track that we're on right now, but we're going to stay on it. Let's go ahead and switch fuel tanks. We haven't done that in a minute. Leave the fuel post bump on at 1,000 feet. Should hopefully balance our tanks out by the time we get down to the ground. Fart 22. Don't have any farts in this channel, not unless you use the blurps, which cost bits, and I'm not asking you to use bits. I think a nice little nap outside is definitely going to be in the cards later. I'm definitely feeling that right now. Look at us cruising nice and low over some land here. I think I'm going to need to adjust my heading just a little bit to the left to make sure I do stay in this outer ring of the Class Charlie at 1,000 feet. I think this should be good enough to go here. I think I'm gonna Phoenix around Europe with Whip. It's not a bad choice. Is Whip streaming? Did he start streaming yet this morning? Not yet. Well, if he gets on before I'm done, that would be a pretty good choice for a raid. Told you last night he was gonna... Well, he spends a lot of his time on on the network flying around Europe. I think in his case, because he flies in the US all the time in real life, he likes to do the Europe stuff in the on the sim. That's his kind of thing, whereas I like to do the GA stuff because I don't really do that in real life versus, you know, flying the A320 all the time. Oh, that's right, he is on the West Coast. I always forget that. Always forget that little tidbit. Do whatever tickles your pickle. Once again, if it wasn't my channel and it was your channel, I'd have more to say to that. But right now, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. We're getting warmer. Almost there. We're almost there. 7 minutes. By the way, there is Atlantic City. Right there. Honestly, it doesn't look that great in the sim. And I've heard nothing but bad things about Atlantic City in real life as well, which is why I've never been. Gonna need to adjust my roll again here slightly. Gotta be careful, we got some wind turbines right here that we gotta make sure we don't run into. Look at that. Small little wind farm right there. Don't hit the turbines. That would not be a fun afternoon. Morning, afternoon. It wouldn't be a fun anything if you hit one of those. Yeah, again, Atlantic City in all of its glory. Whatever glory there is to be had. Doesn't look that great in the sim, and again, I've heard nothing but bad things in real life about it. I got some spam calling my cell phone. I'm certainly not going to answer that. It's time to start making some radio calls about 10 miles out here. Ocean City Municipal Traffic. Beechcraft 124 Mike Charlie, about 10 miles to the northeast. Going to be entering a right downwind for runway 24, Ocean City Municipal. What do we got here? We got
Traffic.
holy macaroni and cheese. We got ourselves a raid. We got followed by a Robin Hohugis. We got a raid from Sid Squadron. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you. Only Kent's with the follow. Simon Jackson 89 with the follow. Just in time for me to turn the autopilot off and hand fly the approach here into 26 November, which is going to be a right downwind entry for runway 24 at 26 November. Not to get confused. APU Inspector Funky 420 and Johnny Cronksy. I'm terrible with reading names. I apologize, but thank you all for the follows. Bum ba dum bum ba da dum. Private Pilot 0420, thank you for the follow as well. Yeah, I'm horrible with names. Even reading names, I'm terrible at it, so I apologize if I'm messing you up. I'm in the Beach Sierra. took off out of Bayport Aerodrome this morning, which is 23 November. Flew along the south shoreline of Long Island. Been flying south along the Jersey Shore. And right now we're just to the south of Atlantic City Airport. And getting ready to enter the right downwind for runway 24 at Ocean City Municipal, which is 26 November. Because it was a beautiful morning in the Northeast, and I decided I wanted to do a little general aviation. Which, by the way, thank you all for the follows. This channel, when I do stream, which I admit I don't stream very often like I used to, and a lot of that is because of my job and a lot of other real life factors, so I don't get to stream as much as I would like. But when I do stream, it's either me doing some kind of general aviation flying, usually associated with the Virtuous A Flying Club, which is the General Aviation Flying Club on VATSIM that I founded, which I'll talk about more here in a second after I land. And then I also, you'll sometimes see me controlling on VATSIM as well with NYA or TCC, mostly JFK. So that's what you're following when you follow this channel. And I appreciate you for following the channel. My sim's lagging out right now, which is a little annoying. But let's see. I gotta try. I think the airport is gonna be. It's gonna be somewhere right along here. And again, I want to join the right downwind, so I'm kind of cheating a little bit to the north here, because then I'm going to swing it around, almost kind of like a little, to join the right downwind. And yes, I am in Jersey. This is, like I said, just south and now west of the Atlantic City Airport is where I'm going into 26 November here. I'm going to start slowing down a little bit, start getting this thing configured here for more of an approach. We're only about 4 miles away. And you're going to see I'm going to kind of almost fly past the airport a little bit here to the north so that I can then turn left and join on a 45 for the right downwind. Was born up there. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, let's, I haven't seen the airport yet, but I know from my GPS that it's out over yonder, not too far. I want to try and do my best to stay at 1,000 feet for the traffic pattern altitude. And again, for all the people that just joined, I'm going to have a lot of talking to do after I land about the Virtuous A Flying Club. So hang tight. If you guys want to do a landing rate guess, you can. You do not need exclamation point predict. You can just put in a number, positive or negative, does not matter. I've got Volanta running, so I will track my landing rate, at least according to Volanta. So this airport's got to be like right out here somewhere. I think it's... Is that it right here? Yeah, it's right here. Okay, I see it. So you guys see the runway right there. So I'm going to kind of just come out here real quick and then loop in for the downwind. So we got the field in sight. We do have a scenery for it, so we're covered there. I'm descending for some reason. That's not great. My sim is really struggling today, more than usual. I think the G3 also is causing me sim stutters. We're not going to use the G3 version. It's airplane again. So it was a bad choice. So again, I'm just going to now loop it in for the right downwind. Ocean City Municipal Traffic, Beechcraft, Sierra 124 Mike Charlie is entering the right downwind for runway 24, full stop, Ocean City. Put the gear down, extend the flaps to the first notch. It's like I'm flying in stop motion right now. Good God. Alright, so we're in the right downwind. My computer is really on the struggle bus this morning. This is pretty bad. Pretty bad compared to normal. We're going to make our base turn. Next notch of flaps. It's going to be a pretty tight base to final here. Look at it, right over all these homes, and I'm stalling out. This is going swimmingly. Alright. Good enough. Not really. We're gonna try... God, this sim is lagging like crazy. We're gonna go around and we're gonna try again. Ocean City traffic. Sierra 124 Mike Charlie is going around 124. We're in our right close traffic. Why is my sim in stop motion right now? This is pissing me off. We'll fly a more appropriate traffic pattern this time. There's got to be something up with this G3 version of the Sierra because my sim has not lagged this bad in a long time. I think this plane might be glitched out slightly for whatever reason. We'll deal with it for now since we're already here. Give myself a little bit more room here for the downwind because the wind is definitely blowing more from the west. And that's probably another reason why we overshot a little bit. 6T9. Very nice Twitch name. Thank you for the follow. Alright. Gear down. First notch of flaps. Ocean City Municipal Traffic. Beechcraft Sierra 124 Mark Charlie is right down runway 26. Ocean City. So there's going to be a nice, a little bit of a better pattern that we're going to give ourselves here. In the right downwind, we're at traffic pattern altitude. Gear down, first notch flaps. So this is definitely more where we want it to be the first time around. But that's why you can always go around, chat. Well, the good news is that we have plenty of fuel. We'll wait until the field is 45 degrees behind our right wing here, and we'll make our base turn. This definitely feels like a much more stable and appropriate pattern that I'm doing here. Ocean City Municipal Traffic, Beach Sierra 124 Mike Charlie is right base for runway 24, Ocean City. Second notch of flaps. We can start our final turn because the wind is blowing us, so we can start it early. We'll go ahead and get everything full in here. Take the power out. It's probably slightly high, but that's okay because we can make that up. We'll go final notch of flaps. Gears down. Flaps are full. Definitely a much more suitable approach. I don't know why my sim is still lagging out so much. This is unbelievable. I haven't had issues like this in a while. Definitely a pretty stiff crosswind from the right here. We should be just fine. Yeah, nice and easy. Nice and easy. God, the lag is brutal this morning. Pretty stiff wind, actually, coming from the right. But we are down. And we are clear. Ocean City Municipal Traffic. Beechcraft Sierra 124 and Charlie is clear. Runway 24, Ocean City. We made it. Take a look at this. This is a freeware scenery on the FlightSim.to website, by the way, for 26 November. Take a quick look at it once we get parked up here. Parking brake. Turn it off. Let's see. There we go. We'll open the door. Get some fresh air because it's a beautiful day out there. Alright, go into the showcase cam. Take a look at this beautiful scenery. Again, this is all freeware. This looks like it would be a nice little strip, actually. I bet you there's a ton of airplanes on this ramp, especially during the summer, so people want to go and just quick little jog onto this road over here and over to the shore. I bet this airport's pretty slamming during the summertime. And they did a pretty good job. It looks like they edited whatever this is over here. It looks like they took some time to, put in for, they got a couple of helicopter spots, maybe it looks like over there. Whatever little construction they got going on over here, they decided that they were going to throw in, or maybe this is a little landfill or something. It looks like it's probably some kind of construction. They even put little tennis courts. So yeah, whoever this is must live local, I bet, to make this. And they probably took their time to make it look nice, since it's probably near and dear to their heart in some form or fashion. And they put it on flightsim.to for free for us to download and fly into, which is great. So we appreciate them for doing that. I wish my sim wasn't lagging so much coming inbound for the landing. Would have been nice. I have a feeling it's something with this G3 version of the airplane was slowing my computer down a ton. At any rate, we're here. We made it. We didn't die. Thanks for coming in today, everybody. I did say to all the new people, I do want to say thank you for the raid Sid Squadron and all the followers that came from him. I appreciate it. Again, this is a channel where when I do stream, which is not as often as I would like, usually only once every couple weeks at this point I'm able to stream, but you usually see me doing some kind of general aviation flying or controlling Kennedy or one of the NYA or TCC facilities on VATSIM. I'm also the founder of the Virtue Safe Flying Club. For those of you that are new and don't know, the Virtue Safe Flying Club is a VATSIM only, so everything I'm about to say, you do need to be a VATSIM member to join. But if you are a VATSIM member and you enjoy doing general aviation flying, just like you saw me doing here right now, you should consider joining the Virtue Safe Flying Club. We do about 4 general aviation style events every month. A lot of great people in there, like myself, real pilots in training, just flight sim enthusiasts in general, all spreading the love of general aviation on the network. So if you enjoy doing any kind of GA stuff on VATSIM, click that Discord link. That'll take you to our Discord. It will put you in our waiting room. You just need to read through the welcome page. There are some instructions that you need to follow to get set up. But we're always looking for more people that want to join us to help spread the love of general aviation on the VATSIM network, just like I did this morning. And now that I'm done with that whole spiel, I can tell you guys that my landing rate was okay. Nothing great, nothing crazy. Minus 167. A little weird that it was 1.1 Gs. It didn't feel like that, but you could see how much better my pattern was versus when I came in. But look what's interesting here, chat. And this is something to keep in mind for those of you that are flying GA, smaller aircraft, especially when it's breezy, because we saw that windsock was fully erect. Keep your minds out of the gutter. That windsock was fully erect, meaning it was pretty breezy. It's at least 15 knots of wind. And you could see how the wind was coming from mostly the west, the slightly northwest. And look how in a pattern, it pushed us slightly closer and slightly closer and slightly closer and slightly closer to the runway before we made our base turn. That's how significant it is to know what the wind is doing when you're flying a pattern in a GA airplane, because it will push you off that course and push you closer to the runway. So I needed to have a little bit more of a crab actually in the downwind than I did to kind of keep it the same distance. You could see how I kind of let the wind push me in a little bit before I made my base turn. So something to keep in mind when you're flying GA and you've got the wind like that. I hit the be right back button by accident. So yeah, a little bit of a quick flight instructor lesson there for you. That's a kind of actually really good visual that Volanto was able to give us to show the effect that the wind was having on us in the downwind there. So there you go. That's your little nugget for the day. I appreciate you all stopping by. Again, for those of you that came in the raid, I apologize. You came almost pretty much right at the end of the flight here. We did start with a great takeoff out of Bayport. So if you want to run back the stream, you can take a look at that 2-3 November departure, the special departure out of the Bayport Aerodrome there, which I actually did, I feel like, a pretty good job with. And now, I don't really see anyone that I follow worth rating. Whip's not streaming yet. So we might have to do a random, I love doing a random raid from time to time here. So let's see if we can find someone who's doing a little bit of flight simulation that would be worth sending you guys over to. And again, if you're interested in GA, we want you to join the Virtually Safe Flying Club if you're a VATSIM member. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick little flight instructor lesson there. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Is Kitten Airlines streaming? Boozy? Yeah, sure enough. Okay, I can do that. We'll go ahead and raid up Kitten Airlines. Give me 1 second. Let me get that set up. Thank you all so much for coming in today. She doesn't talk, but she is flying. Okay, well, I'll set the raid up anyway. Why not? Let me go ahead and get that cranking. Go say hello. I guess even though she doesn't speak, she is flying. So go say hello to Kitten Airlines in chat, in her chat. Thanks for coming in today. Have a good morning, everybody.